Right after I published my very first video on this channel, the one in which I talk about what I consider primal martial arts to be, I received some comments through social media asking to elaborate more on why one should take up primal martial arts, and why are they better than already established ones. At the time I did not care to think about that. I did not have a goal of proving my point. I just wanted to share with the rest of the world what had been accumulating inside me and see where that would lead me. And it did lead me. It motivated me to explore the topics and formats of what exactly I want to do in this channel. How everything I am interested in, the sciences, sci-fi, naturalism, environmentalism, great outdoors, history, martial arts, and paleo lifestyle are connected, if at all. I believe that search has reached the point where I can acknowledge to myself and share it with you what exactly I want to proceed with in this channel and how everything mentioned above ties in. I think now I know how who I am can be expressed in such a way that others can understand as well, using the language of Stonepunk. So what or who this punk is, and where does it come from? It all began in mid-1970s UK with punk subculture. By rejecting the moral values of the baby boom generation with aggressive rock music, grotesque outfits, sharp hairstyles, visible tattoos, extreme piercing, a punk began to denote the one who challenges and rejects the established values and fiercely fights against any attempts to be suppressed. But that is just half of the story. Punk movement would have stayed just a stage in the life of the youth, if not the dystopian futuristic science fiction genre of late 1960s and early 1970s. This provided deeper philosophical backing of the whole rebellious idea, challenging not the generation, but the reality itself. Therefore, in mid-1980s, the whole genre was dubbed Cyberpunk. You might have heard of it. You know, Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell, The Matrix, maybe Black Mirror. The attractiveness of the cyberpunk genre spawned heaps of novels, mangas, video games, and movies, exposing our minds to the core trope of the cyberpunk setting and plot, that is, high-tech, low-life, as is often cited. We consumed so much of this content that we accepted the inevitability of a doom and gloom image of the future. Did you notice that when COVID hit, instantly it brought back the images of 12 monkeys in our minds? We were not rejecting, we even craved these images, sharing the memes of, is this how it's going to end, nature? We got numbed to technological, social, and political changes that occur right now in front of our own eyes, which lead to the gloomy future. We embrace it, we toy with it, we joke about it, we do nothing to avert it. And this is how, right there, in the 1980s, the hope of the future died. It died, thus driving us to prepare mentally and practically for survival in an inhabitable future world. We have accepted the trend. We do not deserve to call ourselves punks. This feeling of inevitable doomsday in the future led some to reject the future altogether and immerse themselves in the reimagined past of retro-futurism, as I call retro-punk. You might be even a fan of one of its subgenres without even knowing it. So let's play a game. Do you like the aesthetics of The Castle in the Sky, Atlantis, or Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? Congratulations, you are a fan of steampunk. What about Captain America: The First Avenger? Well, congratulations, you are a fan of dieselpunk. Loved Rocketeer? Decopunk becomes you. Superman animated series or Tomorrowland, maybe X-Men animated series? You should explore more of atompunk. Maybe the Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde, Spider-Man, Hulk or Akira keeps you on the edge of your seat. All these are biopunk. Did not understand Hugo but watched it all? This is clockpunk. Wonder why Asterix and Obelix is still popular or Gladiator succeeded? That's because it's sandalpunk. The 10,000 years BC stuck to your head though being a total nonsense. Or maybe have loads of Princess Mononoke fan art. Always try to watch every incarnation of Pocahontas, Dances with Wolves, or Avatar released on screen. All these deliver Stonepunk. Well, not all of these are officially assigned. This list is my personal opinion, but what do you think? Do you agree? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. However, there is one more punk, a punk to punk them all, a punk to the power of two, brave enough to reject the established and entrenched gloomy future of the dystopian and post-apocalyptic genres and embracing the slight glimpse of the chance that everything might turn out to be fine if we just attempt to try. That is Solarpunk, emerged in 2010s, championing the optimistic view of the future without the apocalypse, embracing the nature and living with it, using new technologies to combat the greatest threat to our civilization, climate change. If you find green skyscrapers awesome, you might become a fan of Solarpunk as well. Yes, this movement is gaining traction so slowly. And this is the core of the issue. By the time we embrace it, there will be nothing to save. But why does it take so long? Well, firstly, it took 3 decades for Cyberpunk to hit mainstream, so to ask for something faster here would be a stretch, and it doesn't help that it is considered to be just another hippie movement, with no power, no punch, no drama, nothing wider public can be engaged in. Life in Solarpunk just is. It does not carry you anywhere. This is where Stonepunk can help. This is where Stonepunk is crucial. But first, let's listen to one quote.
The reasons why I'm a great advocate for military history, apart from the fact that I do it, so I would like it to be more acknowledged, is that when you deny another country, another people, nation, however you want to describe a group, when you deny them a military history, you deny them volition, you deny them credibility as a group. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, but it is true that people look at military history justifies your society. Military history, winning a battle somehow proves you to be valid.
Yeah.
Legitimizes you. And so by not allowing China a military history, it allows outsiders and Chinese people too. They use it for their purposes. If they don't have a military history, you can make all kinds of ridiculous generalizations.
I'm grateful for the cholar-general channel for sharing this interview with Peter Lorge, Chinese military historian. The link to it I will share in the comments. So it goes that if a culture does not have a military history or at least means of fighting, they do not have means to object, means to have the right to their own opinion, the right to freedom. This is not to say that we should oppress the weak. It just goes to say that our primal brain perceives the peaceful cultures as not worthy of our attention. This is why punk culture grew. This is why the cyberpunk genre prevailed. And this is why Solarpunk will not, unless it embraces the conflict as a part of their lore. And where better to look for conflicts revolving around resources, land, peoples and nature than in Stonepunk. The whole basis of this genre is clash of epochs, clash of technologies and cultures, past or future, real or fantasy. The clash of values and worldviews. Stonepunk is not defined by plots set in Stone Age. However, the presence of primal cultures and values is driving the conflict and plot in all Stonepunk works. Nevertheless, Stone Age and primal cultures attract less attention or even receives ridicule from mainstream culture because of what an ordinary person knows about Stone Age or primal cultures. Finding food, building shelter to sleep, sitting by the fire, song singing and goofy dancing, embroidered clothes, and primal art. This is the image the mainstream culture draws. In popular culture, primal people are perceived to be weak, not having means to contradict, to object the modern values. Of course, they fight and sometimes win, but only with the help of civilized man or use of industrial weaponry. By themselves, they do not have a right to exist, so why study them? And I say, by exploring, researching, and developing their martial aspect, we can bring validity to primal cultures, past and present, drawing public attention and inspiring imagination. Just as HEMA contributed to the revival of European medieval heritage, the primal martial arts will contribute to the revival of prehistoric heritage from all over the world, connecting us all no matter the beliefs, region, or descent. And feeding off that vast cultural source, the Stonepunk scenarios and aesthetics will help us embrace the value of nature, diversity, and creative side of conflict, which will lead to powerful, attractive, and credible Solarpunk. This is how Stonepunk and Solarpunk coalesce. They will be joined, they will be married, and a new name should be given. Just as powerful as a combined punch they will both deliver. Something like Solar Stonepunk. Hallelujah, my brothers and sisters. This is how we will survive. This is how we will fight. This is how we will get there.
And believe me, I know. The only way to get there is together.
So stay tuned to this channel for even more content on primal martial arts, solar Stonepunk, and primal warrior cultures. See you, my fellow warriors.